So we've made it to Malaga, Spain, and we're just picking up our rental car, and this is what we've got for the next week and a half. Quite a cool little car, so we're going to jump in now and head off to our first destination, which is Ronda. So it's au revoir to France and hola to Spain. We spent about a week in Andalusia and our first stop was Ronda. It's about 100 km from Malaga. We chose Ronda because of its history, culture and its beauty. Ronda is situated on a high point that has commanding views over the surrounding countryside. The centrepiece that everyone visits Ronda for is the Puente Neuvo, which translates in English to New Bridge. Puente Neuvo is a famous sandstone and limestone bridge that spans the El Tajo Gorge, connecting the old town with the new. And this is the way to our little apartment. So this is our apartment in Ronda. We're right in the centre of town. Cool air conditioning, it's nice. Bedroom. Wardrobe, bit of a lounge area, kitchenette, wash machine bonus, nice bathroom, no driving involved to get anywhere, out on the balcony. We are right in the centre of town. This is the view from the bridge. It's called the New Bridge, even though it's hundreds of years old. We're going to go and find that track and work all the way down there today. So this is the walk down into the valley. On this side, you can also walk down on the other side. On the other side of the bridge, there's two other bridges. The landscape is really dry here. So different from the landscape we were in while we were driving around in France, which was very green, which had a lot of forest, whereas here is like Western Australia, it's very dry, probably even drier. Seems like the best time of the day to come here is in the morning. We've pretty much got it to ourselves. We did see yesterday when we got here probably around about 1:30 how busy it was, and everything was just swarming with tourists. Not that we're not tourists, but it was definitely a shitload more than what there is now, because we're not having a fight for pictures or anything. We've got it all to ourselves. How about this for a viewpoint? So I've got my little shopping bag, heading off to the market to pick up some more water and some more meat for lunches and some more pastries. What we're doing is, because we're staying here 3 days, is we're eating food from the fridge in the market for breakfast and lunch, and then going out later on at night for beers and tapas. So I'll take you into the supermarket. Okay, found some more beers. Got to try all the beers. We'll go with this one. Some rattlers. Don't mind the old rattler. What should we have? Get some salami yesterday, that was nice. Will we get something else? Let's go for maybe some of that. Is that what we had yesterday? No, that's what we had yesterday. We'll get some of that. Some of that. This is the definition of tourism. If you put it on Insta, they will come. Because it's a lot busy now than it was when we were out this morning. The streets are swarming with might be people who are staying here, it might be the day tourists as well, but it's a lot different in the morning, the afternoon and the evening. We're just going for a cruise around now just to check out what's in some of these other streets, look in the shops, but obviously restaurants and catering and dining is pretty big around here. Last night this area was nice and chill, and now it's just teeming with people. We're at the bull ring here in Ronda, and luckily enough it's only about 50 metres from where we're staying, so we're going to go inside and have a look around. There's no bullfights on now, but we're just going to have a look around the bull ring. Underneath here are the pens where the bulls are kept before they go into the ring. These doors, as you can see, open from above, and that helps guide the bull into the ring, which I think is through that door there. Oh wow, they're pretty basic. I'm guessing food or water was kept in there for them, and the gate would open using this pulley system, and the bull would head down this way. Oh, it's bright, and out the bull bursts into the ring. All the spectators are sitting around there screaming. You can see where there's a gate. You have one of these to stop the bull getting through. You have to remember that it's not just like a museum, it's actually a working bull ring where they actually have bullfights. So it's not bullfighting season, but imagine coming here when it was on. How cool that would be to see that, as long as they don't do what you think what they do, which is kill the bulls, which is a bit sad. Look at the ceiling, Sandra just pointed out.
Sorry?
I was just saying how you pointed out the ceiling and these beams. Nice simple construction. Underneath the bull ring there's also a bit of a museum, a history of bullfighting at the bull ring, and
Look at that teeny.
they were just teeny. So if you're into the history, you can learn a bit of information here. And there's also an audio guide as well. And I think from what I heard on the audio guide is that it's the largest bull ring in Spain, and there's been one person who has died in the bull ring, and he was actually, back in I think the 1800s it said, he was actually buried in the bull ring, and when they did restoration works on the ring in 1963 they found human remains. So a bit of an interesting story there. I would say we're over here, right where the little green thing is, of the old city. So this is a map of the old city. We are here now. So let's head on up, see what's the view from up here. Oh. So I would imagine even the ground level outside has been built up over time as well. That just naturally happens over time. There's a nice little square out there. All these squares seem to have fountains in, which is really cool. I do wonder where the water supply comes from in such a dry climate like this, and that little river that goes through the middle of the gorge does not seem that has that much flow that it serves all the houses, accommodation, fountains in this place. This is the view looking back this way. Here's the view of my wife. Look at that look. She's like, you make me nervous. So we'll just go and check out this last little bit, then we'll head down there and rehydrate with cerveza. Oh wow. Oh. You know what that gets used for?
What?
I suppose a bit of a toilet. I'm good, baby. Okay. Okay, so I'm on another one of these little towers. Cool, look, a nun. We've seen a few different, must be denominations of nuns walking around the square, some wearing white, some wearing brown. I'm not knowledgeable enough about the religious orders to know what they represent. I wonder where the wall joins, because it ends over here, and then I wonder if that sort of in between the two trees is where it goes around there. This is a continuation of the old city walls. And you can see like another tower there. I wonder if these walls were actually from the medieval period, or were they actually earlier and added to by people in the medieval times. But we're looking over there. Out there is the new town, which is spreading right out there. We're still in the old town now, and we're heading down to the Banos Árabes, which is the Arab baths. So now we've come to check out the Banos Árabes, or Arab baths. This is up the top, so I'm guessing the baths were underneath. These are even though these are the Arabic baths, and we all know about Turkish baths and Turkish hammams, I do wonder if they actually got the idea from the Romans, because you know the Romans loved a good thermal bath, and they had baths and gymnasiums before, while they were here in North Africa, before the Moors came along. So maybe that's where the idea came from. But now we're sort of like in an area, I guess, was covered, and there were doorways to different things. People would come in. Oh, this is nice and cool in here. Let's see what these things say. Cold room. Definitely feels quite cold.
Oh, it's so nice. It's got air holes.
Look at the shape of the holes. Are pretty cool. We just watched a cool video, which is probably the highlight of the Arab baths, which explained how they worked. So basically, there used to be a stream over there, which is pretty much just some brackish water, and up here there was a water wheel, which is set here, which a donkey would turn the water wheel, which was a series of buckets which would come up one side, go down the other, and that would bring water, which would then come along here and somehow or other tip into here, into this little gutter, and the gutter would run along the top of this wall down to the Panos Termales. So we are now crossing the first bridge of Ronda, originally built back in Roman times and rebuilt probably multiple times since then because of all the use it would have had. And then we see over here, these are probably a rebuild of the original lower walls, which are over there as well. And then if we look up here, we see the other walls of Ronda. Up this way we see the second bridge. 350 steps. That building directly across from me is the Casa del Rey Moro, I think it's called, and that little doorway about there is the access that goes down to the water supply in the bottom of the gorge. It's the stairs. I think I read there's about 350 of them, and they are cut inside the rock. You can't see them, and down the bottom of it as well there are also rooms in the rock as well, and that's how the slaves used to bring the water up to the Moorish people who ruled that side of the Ronda, the old town. And I believe it's the during the Reconquistador, I think the 15th century, the Christian forces actually stopped their access to water, which is why they ended up giving up Ronda and pretty much the caliphates in the Iberian Peninsula. But that's the whole building there, that whole thing, but you can't get into it because it hasn't been renovated and it's a bit of a wreck. We're taking a bit of respite from the heat and we are going to have some lunch. We found this cute little cafe, restaurant. There's heaps of them around. I'll turn the camera around. Oh, watch the step. Perfecto. Oh. Right now I'm definitely missing my pool. Look at that. So our first starter is locally made chorizo. Is it good? It is good. Really good. Okay, I'm going to try it too now. It's so good.
Wow, thank you. Gracias. Gracias. Those are the arches, yeah.
That's how I expected to see them last night. Yum.
Yum. Iberian ham.
Artichokes with ham. Sangria is bloody beautiful, isn't it?
It's delicious.
Heading out for dinner, we saw this really cool little park that we hadn't been to before, so we thought we'd just pop in and have a bit of a look before we go and have our tapas. These parks are such a good respite from the bloody heat. The trees make it so much cooler, and this one looks like it's got a really good view out over the valley. Oh wow, how's this for a landscape? Glad we found this place. Would have been a bit of a crime to miss this for the views that you can get from up here. Part of our daily ritual is included at least once a day gelato. It's about 37, 38 degrees today. We'll be walking around. It was warm but not too bad. So we're just going to go and enjoy this in our room and drink some cerveza.